All right, so let's just begin with stance and guard. So you can skip that why people come to you, we'll go back to that. First, we'll just have a quick read through and then we'll actually just get into the practice of it. So you start off explaining the stance and guard from the external side, yeah? And then you move into the internal side, yeah? Because you've got the shapes and positions, but then you've also got the inside, like the actual feeling inside. And then basically we go through exercise. So you'll see there's like explanation of external stance, explanation of internal stance, explanation of internal stance continued. So because there's layers to that, like sinking and aiming, and then also explanation of the shapes itself, because there's shapes within it. Essentially, when you're teaching the stance and guard, you want to just get them in the positions. The best way is start feet together, bend the knees, toes out, heels out, and that gives them a framework of pointing everything to the center. Now, why do we do this with our stance and guard? The reason you point the knees and the toes into the center is so that your weapons are aimed towards the target. One of the simplest ways that you can explain it, I'll borrow you, Andrew, is that if Andrew is my opponent, right, and we're having a gun battle, right, we've both got guns, yeah? If I was going to shoot Andrew, would it be faster if I pointed my weapon here or if I pointed my weapon there? Very simple, you know, because people often say, yeah, but you know, the blade stance, I should point this way, but this leg is now so much further away and aimed in the wrong direction, right? The Wing Chun stance is designed for street self-defense when there are no rules, yeah? Not for combat sports where there are rules and it has an advantage to be side on. So you have that triangulated stance towards them so that your weapons are already aimed at the target. So if he does go to move his leg at all, as soon as you move, bang, you can straight away defend and attack straight up through the center to the weakest point. So you, thank you, Andrew. So you aim everything so that you naturally attack to the target straight away, yeah? And you naturally cover your own self, yeah? So everything points in a triangulated stance. Now, one big problem you'll notice is that people go too triangulated. They go like this, and see how it meets like here, but my punch reaches further than that. See how my toes are here, but my punch is further out. This is wrong, right? Because now all my pressure comes into the inside of onto my thighs and my knees, as opposed to, it should feel more open and loose. Your stance shouldn't feel tense. Why? Because then you're stuck. If your muscles are tense and tight on the spot and you're locked in here, it's very difficult to actually move, yeah? You want to feel loose and flowy so you can quite easily step, yeah? So, you point the toes in, knees softly bent. You can measure out the way we measured out before. And then that's the physical positions. And then the actual physical shape of the hands. The best way I've found to teach it is to say, put your hands on your hips and see how it gets that natural bend. It gets me that, what we call the optimum angle. That's a strong structure in this shape, yeah? Gets you that optimum angle, and then you bring both up to meet at the front, like a triangle, yeah? And then from here, you bring either hand back to the midpoint behind it, which is just approximately where your elbow is, yeah? And this is the external shapes of the stance and guard. Now, with the hands, you want to, the reason we keep it on the center is so that, and this is a very easy one you can explain, is to protect the eyes, nose, mouth, chin, throat, solar plexus, and groin, because you've got the hands in front of the center. That allows you to naturally, borrow you, Carlson, that allows you to naturally defend. So if Carlson puts his guard on center, without even doing anything, he already defends his center. Any punches coming in the shortest distance towards him are naturally defended. He's already got a cover because of his hands being on the center and the triangulated formation behind it. So any punches that come through will roll away from that, yeah? As long as he keeps them in front of his center, yeah? So we keep the hands on the center to protect the center line so we can dominate the shortest distance. The shortest distance, which is the fastest route for their attack, yeah? Now, that then forces opponents to take attacks on longer distances, leaving the center open for you for a direct attack. So if I come around the outside, you can just hit me straight away, or he could use like a dice out and palm strike or punch to also deflect and strike at the same time. So, thank you. So, the external shapes are knees, toes pointed towards the other person's center. Hands, hips, bring them up, draw one hand back. This is the basic stance and guard here from the external perspective, yeah? Now, it doesn't mean, because oftentimes people are like, but so wait, in a self-defense situation, am I going to do this? Absolutely not. Of course not. That's just stupid. You just walk naturally. You just walk, yeah? You walk, but you keep everything aimed there. You walk. It's just a natural walk. You're just walking there, yeah? But everything aims there, yeah? So this is, for example, this is still the stance. This is still the Wing Chun stance, yeah? Because I still have everything triangulated, yeah? Sure, in Chum Kyu we do stuff like this because, yeah, in fights your body ends up in many positions. Yeah? So you want to be able to fight from this stance as well. Alrighty, so that's the external shapes of the stance and guard. I gave you a bit more of an elongated version of it, but when you're teaching it, for example, to a class, like a group class, you wouldn't spend that long on the theory. I'm just giving you a bit of a deeper look because, you know, you guys are going to be teaching it. And also with the kids, you can be even shorter with it. So with the kids, you can just be like, okay, put your feet about hip width. You don't even need to tell them here. Just put your feet hip width and make sure your toes are pointing in. That's it, yeah? That's enough. At least just go hip width, toes in, so you have a strong base and everything's pointing forward. Hands on hips, bring the hands up. So yeah, good. And now keep them in front of your center to protect your center line. Bang. You can keep it as simple as that. Yeah? Even with the adults, that's fine to start. Just want to make sure they're not doing this. This is one of the biggest problems and one of the laziest habits you'll see. And if you're a teacher and you do this, you should slap yourself. You know, because you're literally wasting half of your body mass. This half of your mass is either stationary or going outward. It's a waste, yeah? Big waste. Would you leave, you know, like, would you just leave $50 on the floor if you had $100? Of course not, that's stupid. You put it in your pocket, right? Same thing here. Keep the $50 in your pocket. Use it. So that's one of the most common mistakes with the legs. Two of the most common mistakes with the arms. Arms too close to the body. You'll see even adults are like, they keep it right there. I don't know why. It's like they're trying to protect their emotions or saying. Another common problem is that they do have their arms out, but their arms are like floppy and jalopy. I'll borrow you, Marcus. So they don't actually have they're not actually feeling their arms or aiming them. So if Marcus keeps his arms just full floppy, watch what happens. And that's obviously terrible because I can hit him. He wants to actually, of course, feel his arms and aim them at the other person. So now when I put pressure on them, they don't collapse. This is their shield, yeah? Thanks. When teaching kids, you can, you know, we've got a thing we say, this is my guard, this is my shield. Or sorry, say, this is my guard, this is my space. No one gets in my space. And they go, oh, okay, good. So that when you hit their arms, they keep that robustness in the structure.